We are live with Frank. As usual, on Moon Day, it's Frank Day.
Greetings, Yannick.
Yeah. Today, that's it. We're going to keep on with the PT's book review.
Yes.
Of course, that's the reason why we show up here. I think we are at the reason why. Is it possible?
I believe so.
Because Billionaire...
Billionaire was the last... Yeah, that was the last one we were on.
So maybe I'll let you go on with the reason why, and it's a long one. So
yes. It's a good one.
I'll let you go on with
The reason why. The reason why majority of people on this planet live their life like they do is because they assume and presume that it will all last forever. Their parents, friends, pets, and of course them. In this foreverness, one can while away time doing one silly frivolosity/triviality after another. What's the harm, they say? We have all the time in the world, an eternity for nonsense. Looking at them, one gets the feeling they have infinite lifespans. Beings here show no comprehension of their lifespan. Reality of death does not ever really enter their consciousness. When it actually happens in their forever little world, it is seen as a trauma, which they usually cannot recover from. Death opens up too many questions, like what after, etc. So best to just behave as if it doesn't exist and carry on with mindless nonsense in Foreverland. A being who knows that they have limited time here is bound to behave differently, especially if they also know what is at stake if they don't.
Exactly. La raison pour laquelle la majorité des gens de cette planète vivent leur vie comme ils la vivent est parce qu'ils supposent que tout cela va durer éternellement. Leurs parents, leurs amis, leurs animaux domestiques et bien sûr eux. Dans cette éternité, on peut tuer le temps en faisant une stupide futilité après l'autre. Quel est le mal, se demande-t-il? Nous avons tout le temps du monde, une éternité pour des absurdités. On les regarde. En les regardant, on a le sentiment qu'ils ont des espérances de vie infinies. Les êtres ici ne montrent aucune compréhension de leur espérance de vie. La réalité de la mort n'entre jamais vraiment leur conscience. Quand cela arrive, en réalité, dans leur petit monde éternel, c'est vu comme un traumatisme dont ils n'ont pas l'air de pouvoir se remettre. La mort ouvre bien trop de questions. Comme qui a-t-il après, etc. Donc, c'est mieux de simplement se comporter comme s'il n'existait pas et continuer avec des absurdités stupides sur la terre éternelle. Un être qui sait qu'il a un temps limité ici se comporte forcément différemment, surtout s'il sait aussi ce qui est en jeu s'il ne change pas. That's big because that's exactly what we do. And we go along pretending that we're going to last forever and we can do all kinds of stupid shit. Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect us. Doesn't affect no one. Doesn't affect our body.
Right.
Go on. Auto-destruction and let's go. Like that's the mentality a lot. It's let's destroy ourselves until... let's destroy ourselves until we wake up and realize that this is what we're doing. Because honestly, we are on auto-destruction from day one.
Yes.
It's an attack on our body also, and we don't know the attack on our body is on all sides. Like visual, the food, the ears, like the attack come non-stop.
Yes.
So if you go on and pretend that everything is cool and nothing's happening and you have a lifetime in front of you to do all your stupid nonsense, you will keep doing your stupid nonsense. I think it's self-realization also. that you have to get to realize that one day you're gonna have an opportunity to die. So
Yeah.
you better wake up. You better.
Mhm.
That's why the waking up. When we say you better wake up, it's because you're gonna die one day. Well, you want to die dead or you want to die alive?
I
That's the
like that.
question here.
That's good.
Because we're walking dead, so we're gonna die dead. Imagine the death. Like
Yeah.
it's twice. It's dying twice.
Right.
Like type of shit. Anyway. So yeah. So you want to live? You want to die living, or you want to die dying? Like,
Exactly right.
because I think once you make a choice of taking care of yourself, it's for sure your body will decay at one point. Everything goes through that birth grow decay. You will decay, but at least you will not be dead inside. Like there will
Yeah.
be something alive inside of you, something ready to maybe exit the body
Yeah.
and fly through eternity or something.
Yeah.
But I prefer to take that chance because something tells me that there's a part of us that is not exactly inside our body. Like it is
Definitely.
there, but I can also project into the heater. Like it's hard to explain. It's like astral travel shit. But
Yeah, very true.
I'm not there yet. But I'm saying even when you dream, you kind of go out your body a bit. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
have those experience out of the body on Earth. There is people that come on.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of experience of that, but that tells me that we're probably much more than just flesh and bones and voice and like there's a vibration, there's a vibe to our to I, it's so I think we only and even now I'm here on YouTube talking about reality and stuff, and I'm sure I still have to get in touch with a lot of this world that
Yeah. Same.
I don't know, especially about realms and death and the reincarnation, all this stuff. It's very
Right.
interesting to entertain the idea that you would come back eventually or not, or you would go fly into eternity into the upper realm or something. But yeah,
Right.
I prefer, honestly, it's not proven to me that all this I can I but it is proven that it does exist. That's the thing. I was gonna say it's not proven that it doesn't exist, but it's the stars are there.
Yeah.
So there is something above.
You can look at it with your eyes, right?
So that's it. So I
Yeah.
cannot be here and say, oh, say there's completely nothing above or below. There's probably something tells me that, yeah, but
Right.
I will find that out only at the moment of my death. Probably,
Exactly.
most probably, I will have maybe a choice to take at the end. Maybe come back, go on another journey, go back home or something.
Right.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see when I get there. But I
Yeah.
prefer prepare for an opportunity, an eventuality that can happen, which is dying. So I want to
Right.
die successfully.
Yes.
I want to die miserable. I don't want to die negative. Like
Right.
I want to die with a smile on my face. That's what I told you last time. That's what I'm
Mhm.
preparing for.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. This is a cool P-log, and it hits a very important point, right? Because that so much energy and effort is pushed towards like avoiding that reality, which is death, that we all must face, that we all are living in a body that has a time limit, right? There will be a time in which you can't keep perpetuating your mindless little whatever you're going to be doing, right? If you're just like stuck on a video game, or if you're just like just doing whatever these little cheap thrills are that are offered here.
Exactly.
But yeah, this living in the light of death kind of makes us see things differently, makes us kind of put a little more thought into what we're going to do, what we're going to choose to do in our life. And this is what P is mentioning in the end. He says, a being who knows that they have limited time is bound to behave differently, especially if they know what's at stake if they don't. And so I think, you're right in the terms of, there is a lot of, all the different religions and spiritual viewpoints have some perspective that they put on what happens after you die and stuff like that. And so there's not any type of video footage or something of of what it's like to go to a heavenly plane or something like that. So there's
That's what I'm
no
saying.
right. There's we don't know like what's beyond this. But like you were saying, there is experiential things there's things that we can experience ourselves
Yeah.
that is still a conscious state, but it is not like operating within the physical in terms of like this 3D physical reality, the waking state. So there's lucid dreaming, there's out of body experiences, there's what they call remote viewing, and it's kind of projecting your consciousness into different places. And there's all sorts of interesting evidence that they have. A lot of people like who have surgery and stuff like that, when they go under anesthesia, they'll report like being able to like look at what's happening on the operating table. And there's even stories about those patients like going in different places like around that location on the hospital. Like I remember reading this one story. There's a patient who was having surgery or something like that, and they floated up above like where the hospital was, and they saw this particular item that was on the roof that he would not have been able to know that it was there. And then he recounted his experience after the surgery, and somebody went up, and what he saw that was on there, it was like a pair of shoes or something like that. It was like something that, some random thing that shouldn't have been there, but it was there, And so there's all these little types of stories that you can find that validates that we can experience life outside of this body in a conscious and in a way. And that's like what the Vedic perspective says, and that's what P talks about when he says our body is like a Russian, like we have many bodies that are inside of this body that we are. This is the outer shell, and then there's like Russian dolls that like there's layers of self that like continue to kind of go inward on this energetic level. I can't really explain that, and that's not what we're here to do, get into the details of that. But it is something to be noted in terms of our the nature of what and who we are and stuff like that. And so also in terms of dying successfully and then contemplating, okay, well, what is after death and stuff like that. Well, we can hear about what these other religions or spiritual viewpoints have to say, but at the same time, we don't want to get like too caught up in the speculation. We can just be like, okay, well, maybe there is something higher planes and whatnot. But what's important is the now, right? Action is paramount. What do we have control of? Because basically, it is up to us whether we're going to be allowed in there, in terms of like we can control the action that would grant us access up there if we're able to like do the right type of things and cultivate the right type of behavior and attitude. But ultimately, so that is what's in our hands. But we are not the gatekeeper. So in this sense, like whether you're allowed to go to certain places, they have to say, okay, you have like you've shown that you can do what is necessary to go there, so you can go there or you can come back. And so again, I don't want to get in this place of speculation, but you know, there is a choice maybe at some point.
Maybe, like you say, maybe the game is like what I get from what you're saying is we have to match also the frequency of the divine. Like, we're not the gatekeepers, but if we want to enter the gate of heaven, whatever you want to call it, the upper realm, you better match your frequency with divine frequency. I don't think they accept miserable people in heaven or whatever you want to call it. Like, you gotta align, your vibe has to match the vibe that is accepted in this realm if you want to access it. I'm pretty sure.
P says they don't just let in any old riffraff up there, you know. So, that's it. But this thing, the reason why people can just go on doing senseless and mindless things is because they're not taking into consideration, okay, what I'm doing, these actions, they are going to have a consequence. And so, you know, if we're trying to live our life in a way where we're, you know, creating an equation, you know, where our action, like this equals this, right? So we want our action to equal like positivity and well-being, you know. And if we're not looking at our life as an equation of everything that we do is going to make up the sum total, you know, we have to think about like what things are we adding into that calculation? What type of I'm like searching for this math term or whatever. I don't remember what it is, but what like constituents are we putting in the recipe that's going to make the final result, you know, because we have to have all the right algorithms or all the right type of ingredients to make the soup that's going to be good, you know. Exactly. We don't want to make an unedible soup with our life, you know. We want to be thoughtful, put in mindful, like this is going to taste good, you know, this is going to make me feel good, so I'm going to do this action. And there's all sorts of, you know, impulses that we have to be disciplined and restrain. That's like maybe a short-term impulse of like, oh, I could chase this desire really fast, but in the end, is that going to make your soup taste better? Is that going to make your equation like come out in the net positive, or is that going to make you, you know, like how, like, I don't know, I'm just thinking these different ways that are kind of relating to.
Often when you talk to certain people, it's easy to see often that like the people that are on the path, on the quest, on the seeking truth, seeking reality, have something special in their eyes. You know, you look in their eyes and you see something. Mm-hmm. Just like you see something in the eyes of a dog, because the dog is very, very sentient, is a perfect fractal, perfect coherence. So I look in her eyes and I get this weird emotion sometimes looking in the eyes of my dog, because I'm looking into her soul, really. Oh, and right. Some like you, I would meet you in real life and I would say, fuck, Frankie, something in your eyes, man. There's something. But there's some others, you meet them and you see the emptiness often. Eh? You see that they're empty inside, and that's what you say when you say fill the soup and fill the ingredient and put all the good ingredient inside to make a good soup. That's what our life is. All along our life, we have to pour good ingredient to make of ourselves a good soup, so other people can digest our verbal diarrhea.
Right.
Because sometimes it still come out in verbal diarrhea, not too much. I'm trying to, but I mean,
it's like our entire life is a cooking contest. We have our whole life to make the dish, and then at the end of our life, we say, "Okay, I'm done," and we give our dish to the person who's going to judge, and they're going to taste it and say, "Is it good?" And they're gonna tell you, you know, is this edible or is this not edible?
If you were miserable most of your life, it's pretty much gonna taste very sour, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, our time, all this to say that our time is limited. Take action.
Right.
Never mind what other people think of you and stuff like that. You're here. It's your own life. It's my own life. It's your life, Frank. And we
Right.
have to take action to, like you say, polish ourselves. And we're here for something, not just watch TV. Like my goal here is really seeking truth and reality.
Hmm.
That's what I'm here for. It's not easy. Sometimes you have to be ready for this. You have to be prepared for that, because if you're not, it's gonna bring turmoil inside also. So that's why I say this kind of seeking is not just for any muggle out there. You have to be ready, because you can also go very cuckoo with all that stuff,
Right.
because it's very strange what's going on out there. Reality, uh,
Hmm.
not so strange. Reality is more strange than the fiction than they give us, but it's all
Yes.
fiction. It's all lies, manipulation, and so once you see through that veil of manipulation, then you realize that, whoa, what is life? Why do they attack my life so much? Life must be worth something. Like
Hmm.
there's
Yeah.
something I got to do here,
Right.
something I have to discover. But
Yeah.
that's it. It's not the next channel on TV. Trust me, it's not that.
Right. And that's just the
So
beginning, right? That's just the beginning of the journey. When, 'cause people can start to awaken to what's going on, but you just started. And
yeah,
then it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? And so,
it's big. It is big when it hit you. When it hit me, the whole realization was the sun moving in the sky. Like I've never noticed that the sun moved. Like I thought I was moving and shit. So that was a shocker. So I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
you open your eyes today? What's going on with you? Like, you realize that you've been sleeping so tight, not questioning, not going along, just falling in line with the one in front of you. And
right.
that's why we wait in line everywhere. And you wait in line on the street at the light. You
Hmm.
wait in line because they want you to fall in line with the other in front.
Yeah.
That's the psychological nonsense behind it. Waiting in line at the grocery store, waiting in line at the bank, everywhere in the store to pay, everywhere it's waiting in a line.
Yeah.
So be careful. Not to fall in line with the other one in front of you. Be yourself.
Right.
Be your true self. There's something true inside each and every one of us, and
Yes.
that's behind the veil, the mask that you wear each and every day. Like, remove that mask, be yourself. That's what I do when I'm here. When I go out, yes, I might put a mask because I need to, because there's no way I can cope with all this muggleish world without a mask. So
Right.
I
Right.
cannot start that, because I'll go freaking crazy, man. Come on, look at the
Yeah.
world today. So I have to blend in when I go out, for sure.
Right.
The idea is to remove that mask that you wear, and hence why we were all wearing masks not long ago.
Right.
That
Yeah.
is the reality of this world. We're all wearing
Mhm.
masks permanently. And even to talk to my children, to like, there's maybe three people on earth that I do not put the mask on. It's you, PT, and my wife.
Yeah, that's
It's
beautiful.
and the internet. Well, here you have to seek to find it. Like,
Right.
I will not go and propose the video to you. I might share it
Right.
on Facebook here and there, because I have a Facebook page, whatever.
Right.
It's not my Facebook, it's their stuff. But anyway, I use it to publicize the stuff,
Right.
because I think it can be useful to some person if they get a
Right.
hold of all the info that's on that Truman show.
Right.
But yeah, we're here for something, definitely, and I prefer yeah, seek than be dormant, and because there is something to seek in this world. Like,
Yeah.
it's full of glory, it's full of majestic, divine, magical stuff all around. So listen, you want to spend your time in front of the TV? Go ahead. I'm done. I unplugged the cable 10 years ago. I
Yeah.
am done. So
Same.
it's nature time. It's time to hug the trees. It's time for something else. It's time to grow. It's time to learn. It's time to move. Like,
Right.
there's no more time to waste. You realize at one
No,
point
yeah,
that you have wasted also a lot of time. And
exactly.
that you realize it as you get older because the end is near. I
Yeah.
can feel the end like
Uh-huh.
much more than when I was 20.
The
So
hourglass is getting thin, it's like good
exactly,
falling.
I know it's there. So
Yeah.
now maybe we prepare a little bit more once we get older, maybe because we get an idea of what lifespan can be because it goes fast. You realize when you get older, it goes very fast, like a toilet paper. I told you. So yeah.
Right.
So go in action. Go in action. Be yourself. Be true. Be true to yourself. Be true to the world. Remove the mask. Use a proper channel to channel your shareable thoughts. Like I use
Right.
YouTube because I cannot channel my thoughts through muggles. It won't go through.
No.
It won't go through. So I'm not even trying to do it. Like I'm done with this stuff to
Yeah.
shove it down in their
Right.
throat and accept it and see it. And nah,
Right.
it's pointless. The journey is your own. You do it on your own. You seek on your own. You go to others. For sure, it's a community thing. Like you cannot do this on your own. You need others, definitely. Like I got the info from someone else
Right.
that I had to open my eyes and look around. But that's it. I did open my eyes to life. Yeah. So, Frank, next one will be It Will Never Come.
It will never come. There are too many here who think that if they don't think about the future, as in ignore it completely, and keep on living, just reacting to the momentary happenings within their narrow confines, the future, will never come, as in it will never become the present. Thus, so much head in the sandness about realities like death, afterlife, etc.
Cela ne viendra jamais. Ça, c'est un petit peu une continuité là, de l'autre d'avant, là, mais ça dit beaucoup aussi. Cela ne viendra jamais. Il y en a trop ici qui pensent que s'ils ne pensent pas à leur futur, en l'ignorant complètement, et continuent de vivre en réagissant aux événements momentanés, dans leurs limites étroites, le futur ne viendra jamais. Le futur ne viendra jamais. C'est-à-dire, il ne deviendra jamais le présent. This is important. Par conséquent, autant d'attitudes d'autruche concernant les réalités comme la mort, la vie après la mort, etc. And that comes a bit what we just were saying. I think that's just a bit a continuum of the previous one, but it is really we don't think that one day. It's crazy. We don't think at all. We don't look, let alone death and life, and we don't think too much. So for sure, this doesn't come in. That's why we have our head like ostriches, like autruche, tête dans le sable.
Right.
And there is a marchand de sable. Des marchands de sable. Ils vont t'endormir comme des marchands de sable. That's what it is. They're going to put you asleep like a sand merchant. That's why you have your head in the sand. Because a sand merchant, like, where the heck does he take his sand? There's sand everywhere. Why does he sell you sand? That's it. Parce qu'il veut t'endormir comme un marchand de sable. So, Frank, I'll let you give me your...
Yeah, there's this is the theme that P has going here now is, the importance of just think about what you're doing. I remember I was looking at this thing recently and it was silly. I think the the way that they have created things I think we're all vulnerable to a degree to get sucked into whatever the little traps are. And we're all definitely all very vulnerable at times, depending on what the trap is.
Vulnerable to temptations.
Yeah, definitely. But there was this stupid thing that I clicked on, and it was like just some pictures, some school like yearbook pictures with people who had like interesting quotes that they put below their picture, you know. And somebody had a quote that was like, that moment when the movie on Netflix ends and then you see your reflection in the computer and you wonder what you're doing in your life. You know, and then you see yourself, because P is here saying like, look, there's this thing coming at you and it's not going to stop. You can't get around it. You have to go through it. And no matter what, that's coming at you. So get ready, you know, prepare yourself. Don't wait until the end. There's this, you know, I'm going to reference some kind of Muggle culture stuff, but there's this DJ Shadow. He was like some music I would listen to back in my college days. And there's this lyric that would say, tomorrow never comes until it's too late. You know, so don't wait till it's too late, you know, start taking the things that you need to do now, you know, like
Garth Brooks had a song, If Tomorrow Never Comes.
Yeah. Because tomorrow's not promised. It could be today that is your time, you know, any of us, right? We don't know like when that moment that we are going to exit our body, we don't know when that's coming. That's unknown. That's why like death is part of the 8th house in astrology. 8th house is stuff that is like unpredictable. Like you can't tell when it's going to come. It's unknown. And so, and there's like,
Ask that to PT once. I said, if you can do a birth chart, can you do a death chart? I asked that.
And so there are ways, you know, that you can kind of like, you know, kind of get down to these little time periods. You're like, well, it's more likely that it would happen about then. But, you know, there's a lot of, you know, things that go into.
Because there is that doctor that apparently can predict your death by analyzing your body. Listen, I'm not a microbiologist, so I haven't studied nothing of human biology.
Right.
But just by looking at your biology, your markers, your protein, all kinds of stuff they look inside your body, they can almost predict if you die naturally, not of an accident, when you would die. That's pretty fucked up.
I know, right? No, wild. And well, I mean, I think too in the Vedic thing, there for each being, I think based on like all of your karmas in the past and different things like that, you're given a certain number of breaths in your life, and when you use up all those breaths, then that's the time, you know.
Because if all our life we often say, oh, this is synchronized with divine, this is like our whole life is already mapped, and what's gonna happen is meant to happen, and what happened in your life is not random. So how can that be random? So there must be. That's the mystery. That's what the mystery is we don't know when we're gonna die.
Yeah.
But is there a way to know, like a death chart or something very?
There are ways to predict the death, but you know,
I don't know.
It's wild, you know, to think about. You know, it's a little morbid, but
that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit more. Like, why would you want to know when you're gonna die? Like, it's a bit
right. Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, if you know what time you have to go to work, you can be like, all right, I got 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Better like get my teeth brushed and like put on my clothes or whatever, you know.
So we better maybe not know. There's certain things we better not know.
Right. And there's a reason too. There's a reason why we don't know, you know, and there's a reason why, you know, when we're born, our memory is wiped and we don't remember all the things that we've experienced in other lives. Because if we had that awareness, like we couldn't actually like be present in the moment, you know, because we would be stuck just like sitting watching the movies of all of our other lives forever, and then we would like bring those emotional attachments to like how we were with other people in our, you know, past lives, and then we would get so fixated on, you know, when we're going to die and all this kind of stuff that, you know, we don't know those things so that we can be present and do what we need to do here,
I think
So,
that's necessary not to know exactly to be present. I think personally, it's a bit part of the madness circus we live in to want to discover when you're gonna die. And it's like humans try to play the divine a lot because they avoid
right,
to the divine play. They avoid the divine play, so they play the divine.
right.
I
Yeah.
suppose I should remember this one.
Uh-huh.
No, so that's it. It's a real circus out there.
It is, right?
That's it. No, I'm
I
telling you,
like
it's
that.
really
They avoid the divine play, so they try to play
yeah.
divine.
That's it. They avoid the divine play, so they play the divine
Yeah,
because the biggest game of all is the divine game.
right,
Like, don't talk to me about baseball, football, hockey, and all that nonsense.
right.
Today, I know it's nonsense. I used to be impressed.
Hmm.
I used to be impressed at professional sports and watching it and
Right,
Canadians and they're gonna win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. Like it's so nonsense today. I realize it's, but you have to. That's it. Stop. You have to want to be present. I think it's a lot about presence, and if you want to be present, well, you're gonna let go of those nonsensical stuff you engage in often. We all do. Until we realize it's nonsense and we talk nonsense and we talk too much and we like
right,
talk for nothing, talk trash, talk
right.
like when we talk, we should be thinking a lot more than what we do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
we
the
have
next half an hour.
next half an hour. There are too many here who believe in doing actions without even considering / visualizing the future of the next half an hour, let alone till death or after death, or the many cycles of birth and death. And all of them can't seem to figure out why things go so wrong for them.
Yeah. Prochaine demi-heure, la prochaine demi-heure, il y en a trop ici qui croient en l'action sans même considérer, visualiser le futur de la prochaine demi-heure. Oubliez jusqu'à la mort ou après la mort ou les nombreux cycles de vie et de mort. Et tout ne semble pas, et tous ne semblent pas comprendre pourquoi les choses ne vont pas pour eux. Ça demande une petite réflexion. It ask for a reflection, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is we don't, like I said, we don't have we're not in the present. We're not present very often because we're too stressed out, too anxious, too much in fear. And fear is not necessarily the fear of a big black bear coming running behind you. It's not what I'm
That's
talking
natural.
about. That's legitimate fear.
Yeah.
You have to do something. You're going to feel something if you see a big bear or a polar bear or a shark or something that can eat you alive. You will have fear, legitimate fear.
Yes, definitely.
Your air will raise on your body and all that shit. Like you will be in fear. Trust me. But the fear that we experience with this society is a much more deeper fear in our brain. There is a gland in our brain that is the fact that your air raise and you get these emotions when you're in legitimate fear is because there's something in your brain triggering those emotions. There's a gland specifically attached to the fear thing, apparently.
Right.
And that is what's being triggered. And that's why, and when you're in fear, often it's hard to reason. Like you can't reason. Like when you're frozen, often if you're legit, like I say, the bear or whatever, you will freeze probably for
Yeah.
a moment
The fight or
because you
flight.
can think,
Mhm.
you can reason. You're in fear. The fear is too powerful.
Yeah.
So that's what they exercise on us. That's why there's so much fear, and that's why we don't think of the next half an hour because the fear and this and that, and we're very much think that future will never come, but the
Hmm.
future is already here. It's already here. The past is everything is in the present.
Right.
Like if you really focus on the present, you will be present. And that's where you will find everything. It's not in the future. It's not, you have to have consideration for the future because it will come.
Yeah.
It will come.
Right.
So, hence why I don't know why people waste. I know why, because I'm human like them. I know why.
Right. Right.
We're on auto destruction. It's very simple.
Mhm.
Destruction of the human body on all sides. Like we even participate into the destruction of our body until
Yeah.
we say no. It's
Yeah.
enough. I have a limited time here. I want to take care of my body. I want to take care of my well-being. I want to live a long, healthy life. I want to leave a contribution behind on earth. I just want to be like a leaf in the wind passing by.
Right.
It's not going to be my case. I won't be a leaf in the wind. Trust me,
Right.
it won't happen because I have consideration for the future and I know possibly what's at stake. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to prepare for it the best I can and yeah, rise and shine. That's my motto and I stick to it.
Yes.
So, Frank, I'll let you go with your next
Yeah.
an hour.
And just another epilogue, right? That's just helping us to really see like how things operate, because if you look out in the world, so many people are operating on this principle or on this idea that, well, if I don't think about it, if I just, it's not, it won't really ever be something that I have to deal with, because you have to deal with yourself in the end, because that is the thing that we all live with. We all live with ourselves. We all live with the actions that we take and the consequences that come from those actions. And just think about action, like what makes us do things, what makes us like behave in a certain way. And the mind is one thing that influences us. Because one of the things that's really great that P points out is that in today's society, people don't separate the mind and the body very much at all, and they don't do things that help them to create a separation, so that you don't just automatically do what you think, or you don't just automatically say what you think. Maybe you should take a moment and instill some restraint and some discipline and say, think about what you're going to say, think about what you're going to do, and don't get stuck in the mental, but have some consideration for your well-being, for the well-being of others and things like that, so that but that's how they have rigged this game in our society and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so that we are so wound into our mental life and things like that, and they've really pushed everything to be so mentally based and stimulating. All the movies, all the fantasies, all these kind of things are just in a mental world, but they're not actually real, right? They're not actually what's happening on the ground level. So they've created this thing where we're kind of living in this illusion in our mind, but that's not what the reality is. And all that being said, just because I was getting to that point that P makes it clear that what we have to do is separate the mind and the body, so that we can take the necessary implement the necessary awareness to do the proper type of action, right? If we're going to feed ourselves right, if we're going to be speaking, we should be disciplined with our speech and say things that are sensible and not just
We should focus on the things we can control.
yes, that's
Just that. Focus on the things you can control. Do not focus on stuff you cannot have control on. You can
exactly.
control your health, your speech, your posture, your what you speak to others, your
Right.
compassion, your kindness, all this is under your control.
Yes.
Your
Very.
mind is under your own control. If you want, you just let others take control of it.
Yeah.
That's what it is control what you can, like
Exactly.
within you. And even the control word, I don't like it so much. Control, like you have a con and a troll,
Right.
but I'll use it for the benefit of the talk here, but I don't really vibe with the word control, just to say, but I'm
Right.
using it. That's it. Focus on the stuff. You can have, is there a synonym for control we can use? Is it a bad word, control? Is it
I mean, just exercising your will.
your will? Your will, exercise your will. Because I don't like the word control. I wonder if there's another word you could use.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I like using the thesaurus,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
finding
that's.
other ways.
I'll look for it too, so
Yeah.
I can take that words out of my brain. But
Right.
I'm not sure if it's really bad because often I brought words to PT, and he
Yeah.
gives me his perspective, and I'm like, okay, that's different than my perspective, so maybe I
Right.
like
Right.
your perspective better. So,
Uh,
sometimes we're stuck in our tunnel vision, our perspective, and hence why I reach out to others here to
yeah.
add their perspective. So that's why I ask you, add
Right.
your perspective on control. But okay,
Yeah.
we'll see for that another talk. But Frank, we're gonna end this there because I
Yeah.
think you have to fly into the
The
realm of
workday. The workday
Babylon.
is going to begin pretty soon. But this,
Okay.
I love this P-log though. Next half an hour, we really do. It's so important for us to consider the importance of our action and what is it going to mean for us, not only in our present and not only tomorrow or next week, but for our life and what's going to happen
Yeah.
beyond our life. We really want to align with that natural and divine uh, modality of being. It's the most positive and joyful, and all of the little temptations and things that all the little offerings of this world that they stick in front of us, they'll never be worth what they actually cost. Because like you remember what P said, ignorance has a cost, right?
Yeah.
So if you refuse to consider not only what's going to happen within the next hour, but like your whole life, there will be a cost to that, and you will pay for it.
And just to tell you a little thing that happened to me the other day, and I very, very grateful to a guy named Jay. If you watch that video, I'm gonna tell him go watch the Truman Show. I talk about you.
Oh
But
yeah.
I was on the bike path on my bike, and I saw a field of pepper, of bell peppers,
Yeah.
red,
Well,
yellow, all that, and I'm like, what is that? Then the guy of the field, the owner of the farm, it's a huge farm in Saint Isidore or somewhere
yeah.
here in Quebec. And I stopped him and I said, do you mind if I pick a few that are on the ground? He said, I'll just dehydrate them and make paprika with it and stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, take whatever you want. He said, go in the field, take whatever. So he gave me access to his old field to take the amount of pepper I wanted. So you see the
That's nice.
blessings, the blessings that will come to you. Like
Yeah.
what the guy could have been miserable and say, "No, fuck you, it's my field. Get out of here. You don't have." Like, no, man, he was very nice, so nice with me, and that's the kind of thing that will come if you align with proper frequency. Those
Right.
frequency will come and match, and
So
now I
true.
can have access to his field pretty much whenever I want. I don't think it bothers him.
Yeah.
So uh, today
So
I'm going
nice.
back there in the pepper field to pick more peppers.
Right.
And I'll bring him a little gift at the same time. So
Yeah. Very cool.
that's it. So that's my story of the pepper show.
Very
So that's
nice.
it, Frank. I'll see you. So I give thanks to Jade. That was my point being of doing this. Give thanks to
Right.
Jay for his great spirit, his great alignment frequency with divine,
Yeah.
because he's a giver. So that's good.
Sounds very
It's all
positive.
about giving. When you give, you receive. So give, 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 and don't stop
Right.
giving. That's what life is all about. Give love. Most of it, give love.
That's it.
So we're going to end the stream, and I will see you again next Moon Day, other people watching here.
Yes. Sounds good, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Yeah, always
Thanks.
a pleasure. Always, I'm always grateful to do these talk. It's evolution. I'm
Yes.
evolving. So why would I say no to that? Evolution.
Yes.
So yes, I'm here always to evolve for sure. So we're gone. See ya.